His arms are sore. I've made him come across. I'm going to have some size of triceps. His triceps are growing by the day. That's lovely, thank you.
Hey Martin, Clint at 9, mate. So tell us about this OVM. Is it OVM or CVM?
OVM will do.
Okay. So roles and responsibilities, mate?
Just keeping the spirits up. To be fair, most of them can be a bit miserable. So I think that's why they've kept me around mostly. But no, I'm very appreciated that they've obviously kept me around. Obviously it means a lot. Feels like I'm really part of the team, and obviously they rate me around the place, which is nice. It feels special to me, and obviously a bit of a down moment for me, but as long as I can keep smiles on their face, then that's all I'm worried about.
Well, simple question, how are you, like emotionally as well?
I've been better, but like it is what it is. I normally take everything in my stride. It's certainly not ideal to get so close to the major tournament and for this injury a cure. But look, I can be proud and keep my head held high and through the qualifying campaign and say that I've done my bit. And obviously to stay here and support the lads and experience it all, it's perfect for me.
G'day, Martin, Ben Lewis at SBS. We've seen other injured players from squads return home for treatment or to spend time with their family, whatever it might be. Why did you want to stay so much? And was it the team asked you to do it, or was it something that you wanted to do personally?
It was something I ultimately wanted to do. Probably my family don't want me back. I'm going to be a hassle around the place on crutches. But as soon as I knew it was possible for me to stay out here, it was a no-brainer for myself. And obviously I got the surgery out here, which made it more simpler. I've got the physios, the doctors, and obviously Aspetar across the road, which is perfect for my recovery. And obviously I can go to the games and support the lads, which is brilliant. And obviously it takes me a while to get around the place. My roommate's Lecky, so he's been doing a lot for me. He's been pushing me around a little wheelchair and bringing me cups of coffee every morning, so he's been perfect. So I need to give a special mention to him. But obviously I still have that buzz around the place, and obviously as disappointed as I am, it's not going to affect others.
Martin, Matt Bungard from Wide Water Sports. This might be a tricky one to answer given how positive an influence you've been on everyone around you, but I'm just sort of wondering, like, it's only natural for anyone that gets so close to something that's so big in their career to, I guess, feel a sense of jealousy almost. And I don't think anyone here would begrudge you of feeling that way or similar emotions. I'm just wondering, do you have feelings like that? And if so, how do you sort of deal with them and contrast them to all the good vibes that you are bringing?
I wouldn't say jealousy, because I'm equally as proud as everyone else. The first person that I welcomed when he came in was probably me. I was buzzing for him. He was always on standby. I was ecstatic for him. He's a young, exciting player. I wouldn't say it's jealousy at all. Like you say, I think after the win the other day, I was on the pitch. I was part of it all. Like you say, I was buzzing. I had the crutches in the air. The surgeon wasn't happy, but he was. But like I say, I'm the first one to praise everyone, and like I say, I'm part of it. There's nothing to be jealous about, and I'll be there every step of the way to support my teammates.
Martin, Dave Davutovic from Keep Up. Just wanted to ask you, every player's kind of got their own personal journey coming into the World Cup. You have respectfully spent bugger all time in Australia. You don't have a heap of family there or anything like that. But you've obviously taken to this team and the shirt with absolute pride. Can you just talk to us about, I guess, how you've embraced this team and what, this has all meant to you?
It means everything to me, and obviously it means everything to my family back home in Scotland. Obviously, ideally, my father was born there. It was something that we knew for years. It's a question I get asked a lot at every media conference. Look, I've been on the scene for about 4 or 5 years now. It's nothing new to me, and as soon as Arnie gave me that opportunity, I embraced it from the start. and the lads brought me in like I was one of their own, and we've just had that connection ever since. And I give everything for the shirt when I put it on. I give everything for the country, and like you say, even me being here, hopefully that I can still make them proud and show the support that I'm here, and obviously they know that back in the country.
Martin, Vince Rigari from the Sydney Morning Herald. Great to see you still here, mate, and with a smile on your face. Just wondering, of all the members in the squad and even the staff, is there anyone who needs their vibes managed particularly? Who needs the most vibe management?
Arnie, he needs it. Arnie and Rennie. No, look, I've kept them all in check. They're all happy. Obviously, the result the other day was brilliant. It's kept the spark alive in the camp. It's kept the belief. The confidence is growing, and that's what we ultimately Arnie tries to instill in the team, a bit of belief, and we've got that. And obviously we're here. We're stamping our authority. We're not here to make up the numbers. We're here to compete, and we're certainly doing that.
Speaking of Arnie, it obviously looked like a special moment after the Tunisia game. Everyone in a huddle, you in the middle of it. Can you take us into that moment and sort of tell us what Arnie was saying, and I presume how much that meant to you, because I think it meant a lot to everyone who was watching as well.
I wish I could remember what he said. It took me a while to get over there. I kind of just blanked out when he put his arm around me, but I think it was just the simple message of keep going. Enjoy it tonight, but ultimately we've got one more game to go, and we've got a real good chance of qualifying, and ultimately we believe so that we can do.
Martin, Dave Mark from the ABC. Aidan Hrustic was in here just a short time ago, and he said if he had an ACL injury, he wouldn't be as positive as you were. What is it about you that makes you able to stay so upbeat and to pass on that positivity to your teammates when you've had a terrible injury?
I think something about me is that I always put people before myself. Like you say, it's happened. I can't really get down and dread on it. Of course, it's a long recovery process. It's not all smiles. There is going to be times where I am going to be down and sad, but I think that's important that I've got a good support around me. I've got a good family. Obviously, I've got a good club back in Scotland, and ultimately the support here that they've got me through. But yeah, obviously, I think I've got that mindset of, might not seem like a long time, but 9 months I'll be back very soon, and I'll keep working hard. And ultimately, I want to earn that jersey back and represent the country again.
So you're obviously a naturally optimistic person. Is that something that you were born with, or is it something you've worked on?
Probably just born with it. Like I say, I think I'm at the stage in my career where I kind of came up from the lowlands coming up and worked. I was going to say a swear word there, but I better not. Obviously, worked myself into the ground. I've improved every year, and I'm grateful that I can still say that I'm a professional football player at the end of the day, and I'll continue to work hard. And obviously, my journey's not over yet. And by the time I come out of this injury, I'll be in my 30s, and hopefully I can hit my peak again.
G'day Martin, Liam from Fox Sports, mate. Sorry to ask about the injury again itself, but I know obviously it was quite late diagnosed as an ACL. You'd been here, hopeful that you would be right. Can you just tell us what it was like for you for those few weeks? Did you feel that it was never quite right, or what was that like for you?
Yeah, obviously initially when it happened at my club, I had to come off. I got the scan straight away. Obviously I'd seen the specialist, and obviously I'd torn my lateral meniscus. That's why we went to Manchester to see the specialist, and obviously when you hear that news, it's nothing but devastation. And then you hear the news that maybe there's a few injections. Ultimately, with what was coming up, the World Cup, I was willing to give it a go. We had all the procedures in place that, it wasn't doom and gloom. There was still an opportunity for me to do it. Some players do play through meniscus tears, knee injuries. There wasn't a case where I was going to make it any worse. Obviously speaking now, it is worse, but that injury was already there. And ultimately, you just go through that emotions where your dream's over, and then obviously we fly out, we give it every opportunity. There was a few times that I broke down and nearly threw in the towel. We tried another few procedures. and then I just knew at the end of the day it wasn't right. I needed surgery anyway, so obviously I just tried to buy time and get through to the World Cup. And then obviously speaking to the surgeon, he was just mentioning that the worst case scenario is that there might be a little bit of damage on my anterior cruciate, and we would only know when he opened me up. Basically what I have is a discoid meniscus where I've got a larger meniscus than normal. So basically that was keeping everything in place. It was keeping my cruciate stable, and long story short, that I could have had this ACL injury for about 6-7 years. So I've been playing through it. It's a bit of a tricky one. I know I'm trying to digest it myself when you get put to sleep and you wake up and you know your whole knee's been reconstructed. So I think that's why I'm kind of optimistic that I've played that long with an injury as severe. And yeah, obviously when I damaged the meniscus, it's kind of just not been stable enough for my ACL to hold, and that's kind of why I've had that surgery.
I'm Steve Larkin, AAP. Just wondering how you feel. We have players come in who daily refer to you as an inspiration, and Arnie says, just look at Martin Boyle for added inspiration. Just wondering your thoughts when you hear that sort of thing from your teammates and your coach.
Yeah, it's lovely words. Obviously, I've seen Mitch after his press conference. He scored a goal at the World Cup and I'm getting a mention, which is really nice. It's amazing to see. Obviously, Arnie's words are perfect for me. There's been a few meetings where I've had mentions, and like I say, it's not about me here. I'm just trying to go under the radar here and just keep boys focused on what they have to do and what the job is, and I'm just there to support them. And if they need a shoulder to lean on and a bit of cheering up, then I'll be there. But ultimately, we're here to do a job, and yeah, like I say, I'm just floating around the scenes, not getting in the way. And if there's a bit to be played, and then I'll firmly take that stance, and I'll help anyone in any way.
G'day, Martin. Joe from News Corp. I feel like you've covered a lot of this already, but I was wondering if you'd spoken to Hibbs at all, and what those conversations are like, what your next 9 months, 12 months looks like recovery-wise, and how that conversation went. Yeah,
obviously the physios here, Kurt, obviously the main physio, and Doc Jones, they've been in touch daily. I've seen the surgeon again today. The Hibernian doc was on the other end of the phone call. They're well aware of what's happened. Obviously the confusion behind the surgery and stuff like that. And like you say, it's not easy to explain. Also, there's been a lot of people at my club saying that obviously I missed the games to obviously play at the club and stuff like that. It's been a complicated emotional roller coaster this past few weeks, and obviously to speak about it and kind of get my point across and saying how complicated it was, obviously it makes things a little bit better. But yeah, obviously not ideal for club situation. We were obviously in a bad run and coming into this, and obviously ideally I want to get back there and help as much as I can, but hopefully they can kick on when the season starts again, and hopefully I can play a big part next season.
Martin, Joey Lynch from ESPN. I was just going to ask you to expand on, you gave a shout out to Matt Leckie there about how he's been supporting you, and I think we've seen a video of him wheeling you around on one of those chairs. Just how have he and the boys been supporting you logistically and emotionally, and could you maybe also give us an insight into you and Leck's relationship?
First and foremost, every single one of the lads they've been brilliant. They all seem happy that I've stuck around, which is great. Obviously, Matt is the captain. He'll get a firm say if I'm a distraction around the place, and obviously that's not the case. So it's brilliant. They've all came up. As soon as I came out of surgery, they all gave me a hug, which was nice. They gave me a shirt from the France game, which was signed. It was a special moment. And look, I'm kind of getting tired of them helping me around the place. They're all trying to get my food and stuff like that. Even Cammy Devlin, he's a rival back home, and he's convinced me not to post anything in case the Hearts fans bite his head off. But they've been brilliant. Obviously, I've got a really great relationship with Aziz. He's been great around the place, and obviously I room with Leckie. And yeah, obviously when I wake up in the morning, he's got a coffee there. He turns the light on. He wakes me up. He pushes me around in a wheelchair. He helps me in the shower. Obviously PG, but he's definitely helped a lot. And like you say, we're just relaxed in the room, playing a bit of Call of Duty, and it's been brilliant. And if it keeps a smile on his face, you'll probably get the best performances out of him, which is perfect.
Martin, Tom Smithies from Keep Up. When Harry Souttar did his knee in the dressing room straight afterwards, he set himself a target of a year later, the World Cup. The Asian Cup's probably going to be in just over a year's time. Does that give you a target to aim for, to get back for? And also, has Harry been a particular help given that what he's just been through?
Obviously, Asia Cup's on the horizon. I don't think I need extra motivation. I've already got that motivation, the hunger, the desire to already get back. I know I'm only a weekend, like you say, a long recovery, but I think the most important for me is to take small steps at a time, make little milestones every few weeks, kind of progress from there, and then, as soon as I get back, then I can, obviously, ultimately I need to be producing when I come back to be in contention for that Asia Cup squad. Obviously, I don't want my journey to end here on such a low, but like you say, I've got that hunger and desire to get back, and obviously I want to be in that squad and help obviously achieve another trophy for the Socceroos like they did many years ago.
Hi Martin, Ben's from Channel 10. How do you see this game against Denmark playing out, and do the Socceroos have anything up their sleeve, and how hard is it for you to resist jumping up and down when we score a goal?
I mean, if you see me the other day jumping up, I've probably made more damage. I would say it's a very important game. It's a massive game, and I think if we replicate what we done the other day, I think we were, parts of that second half we were defensively solid. We had a structure. Everyone knew exactly what they were doing. Subs made an impact. I think first and foremost, everyone needs to have that mentality of it's 90 minutes. You put your body on the line. There's not many moments where you can say that, well, the Socceroos that have, obviously qualified out of group stages, we know what's at stake. And I'm sure they'll have a few down days recovery and they'll be firmly on it. Obviously, tactically, I've not been involved in a lot, but I'm sure Arnie will get his point across, Rennie will have his, and I'm sure they'll be tactically aware of what needs to be done. The video analysis will see their strengths and weaknesses. They'll diagnose that, and they'll take the game as it comes. But obviously, I'm very confident of a result.